Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It's gorgeous here in Boise, Idaho. Wanted to do a quick video on why this weekend is important and also what embodiment actually means from my perspective and how we are all starting to find each other. So really exciting topics, really exciting time for me and then also people I'm connecting with. So let's maybe start with why embodiment is important and what it actually means. So this is a term that is thrown around a lot. I have heard it from many different sources, whether you're in the medical profession or the spiritual community or the yoga community, but what does it actually mean and why is it important? So this is just my perspective on embodiment. What's happening right now with the earth and the energies that are coming through, she is rebirthing herself. And there's very powerful energies that are coming through in the form of light codes. And they are coming into our system and we're being inundated with new frequency that is also upgrading our DNA. And it can be really, really challenging and it can feel really, really good. And so there can be this ping pong effect. And if you don't resonate with what I'm saying, that's okay. But I think many of you will, because I've heard from many of you that this is what's happening for you. And over the past 2 years, this has been getting more and more on people's radar of your body is changing, what foods you eat are changing, what you can and can't handle is changing. Like 2 years ago, I could have been, I would go to concerts all the time. I was very, very social, and I'm still social, but in a different way. I was much less selective and I was much less sensitive. And about 2 years ago is when my, I would say, extrasensory abilities really started coming online, and it was really uncomfortable because everything changed. And there's a lot of loss and grieving and letting go, and here we are, over 2 years later. And yeah, that is part of what many people have been going through. And it doesn't really matter where you are on that spectrum, if it's been 2 years, if it's been longer, or if you're just starting to feel more sensitive. Just understand that that's normal and that's what's happening for us as a collective as these higher frequencies are coming in. Now this weekend is really, really powerful because we have a solar eclipse on a new moon in Cancer, and that's on Sunday. And Saturday, we have the solstice, the summer solstice. And all of this is happening within like 8 hours. 8 hours. And I'm not an astrologist, so I'm sure there's a lot more components or aspects to what's happening. But just those two things alone, we are really, really being asked to be present and bridge into this higher dimensional frequency. I really feel that, and we're being asked to show up in neutrality. And neutrality is super important right now because there's so much polarity. There's so much them versus them, right versus wrong. There is so much everywhere you look, more than ever, or maybe not really more than ever, but it's actually being shown and we can actually see it now. And I really believe that the way forward is going to be through a space of holding the higher perspective, holding the vision from Earth's perspective. From Earth's perspective. So through her eyes, how is she asking us to show up? From her values, from her divine wisdom. And this is what we're being asked to embody in our own structures of our bodies, is her divine wisdom. And it feels weird because none of our old stories, all of our old ways of justifying or trying to stay small, they don't work anymore because that's not in alignment with her new frequency. And I believe that many of us came here to help with this rebirthing, that we came here and said yes to, I will work to clear my vessel, clear my shadows, clear the ancestral trauma, whatever you want to call it. I will do that in order to hold this higher frequency and then be able to find my I call them the grid workers, the other people that are holding the different points on the planet. And they have most definitely been showing up for me over the past 2 years. So people that I haven't even met in person yet, I consider soul family. And I've never been able to say that before. And it's because I know them, I can feel them, and I know them, and I haven't even met them in person. And I know that they're part of this grid system of light workers or grid keepers, whatever you want to call it, where we're connecting with each other in a way that we have never really connected with each other before. And so that's why it's important to find your tribe, meaning find the people that you really feel good around, that you can fully express yourself around, that you don't have to hide anything, and you can be loved unconditionally. And it is super, super important that we find those people. And during this time, so this weekend is really symbolic of change and not attaching, because this weekend is all about letting go so that we can make space for what's trying to come in. So we've got a lot of big things coming our way, but we've got to get rid of stuff. And that could look like material things. It could look like relationships. It could look like friendships. It could look like even like old ego stories that just aren't going to hold up in this new world, this new frequency, this new chapter that we're all stepping into together. Like even resentment or things or people that you haven't forgiven, none of that is going to have a space. So we're being asked to let go. We're being asked to really get humble and rearrange and write our new story. And it's happening fast. So time's going to start speeding up, and we're going to be asked to step it up pretty fast. So just non-attachment is going to be key for all of us to help each other. And then also setting an intention to connect to our soul tribe or our soul family. Every day, I set an intention to please help me to connect with those that I am meant to connect with. And sometimes they show up in the form of clients. Sometimes they show up in the form of mentors. Sometimes they show up in the form of friends. And sometimes they're people from my past that I haven't seen for a long time that want to reconnect, and they have completely different energy, and so do I, and it actually works this time. And so just not being closed to anything that comes our way right now is really important. So embodiment, just coming back to why I wanted to do this video in the first place, embodiment means being divinely neutral and having the perspective and being dedicated to the perspective that Mother Earth holds. She doesn't see what we see. She doesn't have ego. She doesn't see separation. She doesn't. Neither does the sun. The sun shines on everyone. It doesn't only shine on people that are good, and it doesn't hide its light from people that are, quote, bad. It doesn't work like that. And we're really being asked to step into this higher perspective in order to help raise the vibration of Mother Earth. So lots of distractions right now, lots of reasons that our ego would love to cling onto for not stepping into this new chapter with this new energy. And I would really, really encourage you to step back and not get caught up in anyone else's agenda, anyone else's stories of what you should and should not think or feel right now, and be divinely in your sovereign self, which I have learned for myself lives here, right here in the heart. This is where she lives. And she's wise, and she sees all, and she can see things for what they are with 2020 vision, which is what we're all helping to anchor right now. So good to have this conversation with myself. No, it's good to really be able to speak this. And also, if you resonate, of course, reach out to me. I would love, love, love to connect with you. Especially because people that are reaching out now are really soul family. They really are. And people aren't really reaching out as much. I mean, they are. They're coming to me for help and support and wanting to work through things. And also, it's really neat. I'm working more with people that are other people like me, whatever you want to call that, like people that are, quote, light workers, just here to offer their gift and to receive mine. So I receive from them, they receive from me. We take each other's courses. We talk light language to each other. We get into like, therapy realms. We can talk all different layers of healing modalities, but we're here to kind of like support each other. So we're moving out of this like mentor-mentee. We're moving out of like, I'm the teacher, you're the student. We're all kind of here to connect and really anchor in to helping each other rise. So if you resonate with that, reach out to me. I would love to meet you. My Yothera Foundations course, the second round online just started and it's going really well. It filled up again, and so I'm really, really grateful for people that have chosen to invest in themselves and then also in this work. And what we talk about in those groups are a lot of psychology, so defense mechanisms. We talk about that. We talk about shadow work. We talk about how your old story is created. And we also talk about how to write a new story going into this new chapter, and a lot of embodiment practices. So it's a combination of at-home study and also obviously the like left brain learning, but it's very, very well balanced with guided embodied practices. So yoga therapy work, some breath work practices, some guided visualization, and also some therapeutic writing. So I love this group. I love offering it. It's really resonates with my heart. It's part of my calling. So that group is going well. The next foundations course is going to be in September. So, and then I'm also offering an intermediate course for those of you that have worked with me already, and that's going to be in September as well. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful, powerful weekend. And I am looking forward to hearing what transpires for everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye.